Yeah, so I started in the fitness space real young. As soon as I could become a personal trainer, I walked into a gym and became one, and absolutely fell in love with the gym. I mean, I love the gym. I love training people. I love working with people, and I did that for a while till I started managing gyms. So about 19 and a half, I was a general manager of a big box gym. By the time I was 22, I owned my own studio, and it was like a wellness studio. So we had personal training, gut and hormone testing. I had body work specialists and their acupuncturists. And the idea was to kind of have this complete space for wellness. Now, at the time, I was definitely a meathead trainer, so I understood strength training and I understood macros. But that was about it. But thankfully, I was by accident or smart enough to have be surrounded by people who offered different modalities outside of what I did in my facility. And what's the blessing of that was I was able to learn just through osmosis by being surrounded by these incredible practitioners. And so I got to learn a lot about different aspects of health and wellness because I could see the value that they brought to their clients. And then at one point to me, as I went through some of my own kind of health challenges. So that's the kind of the backstory. While doing that, one of my clients, who's now our producer, approached me, Doug, who you guys know, you'll hear him on the podcast sometimes. He approached me and he said, "Hey, if you ever want to sell anything online, I have a little bit of online marketing experience. I'd love to put something together for you." And so I created the first workout program, one of the ones we still sell, MAPS Anabolic. And we put together some marketing material. Now, at this time, I had been in contact with Adam Schaefer, who's my co-host on the podcast. Now, I didn't really didn't know him. I knew of him over the previous years. At least five separate occasions, people would approach me and say, "Hey, do you know Adam Schaefer?" And I'd say no, and they'd say, "You should really meet him. You guys should work together." And it was really weird by the third or fourth time, like, "Okay, who's this guy everybody says I need to work with?" I had no idea the same thing was happening to him. People would approach him and say the same thing. So I knew of this guy, but I'd never really hung out with him or met him. Anyway, we were in contact on social media through unrelated topics. Doug and I had created some marketing material, and I remember Adam, and I thought, I'm going to ask his opinion. A lot of people say, he knows his stuff. He seems like a smart guy. So I messaged him on Facebook and said, "Hey, I put together this marketing material for a workout program. I'd love your opinion." He said, "Sure, I'll take a look at it." So I sent it over to him. He said, "Let's get on the phone." We got on the phone, and there was chemistry right out the gates. We're going back and forth. And he's like, "Hey, come over to my house tonight. I'd love you to meet my partner, Justin." At the time, him and Justin, who's my other co-host, were developing a fitness app. And we thought we'd all get in the same room. So I went over to his house that evening, and it was a 4 hour conversation. I mean, right out the gates. It was like everything that's wrong with the fitness industry, what we would like to see change, why we love it, why we hate it. And we decided that starting a podcast would be a great idea, mainly because podcasting is long form. I think it's pretty much impossible to communicate fitness properly through an Instagram post. It's a conversation. If you've ever trained clients for any longer than a few years, you know that it's a ongoing coaching process. I can't communicate effectively at all, except for maybe in a book or definitely over a prolonged period of time through conversations. And of course, podcasting had very low barriers to enter. If you have equipment, you can throw up a podcast. We didn't need sponsors, so we could say what we felt. And at the time, if before new media, if you didn't sell products or supplements, like good luck getting your voice out there. But great timing. I could say whatever I want. I could tell people most supplements suck or waste the money. I could tell people the truth. And so we started Mind Pump, and it took off. I mean, no media experience. We're terrible podcasters, but we all had 20 years of experience training people, and so that's what you heard in those early days. And I remember we launched the podcast with 5 episodes. About 2 weeks in, I'm training clients in my studio, and my phone is going off, and it's Adam, and he's trying to call me, and I'm skipping the voicemail because I'm with a client. He calls me back 4 times, right? He calls me, keeps calling me. So I'm like, this must be an emergency. So I tell my client, let me take this call. There might be an emergency going on. I go outside, I answer the phone, and it's Adam. He's like, check iTunes right now. Go on, go on the top charts or whatever. So I'm like, okay. I go on there and there's Mind Pump. We had made it to their new and notable, and it was like, oh, okay, I think we got something here. And that was kind of the beginning of the whole thing. And sold my studio, and we did this full time. About a year later, we monetized, and that was it. That was the beginning of the whole thing. And now we sell workout programs. Obviously, we have sponsors on the show. We do online coaching courses, and all that. But that was the beginning of the whole thing, and it really started with this idea that we wanted to communicate fitness the right way. We wanted to change the direction of the space by showing people that you could do it the right way, that it doesn't have to be body focused, doesn't have to be body obsessed, that you don't have to lie and be, whatever. Like I'll give you an example. We've never used a before and after picture to sell a fitness program, to the dismay of our marketing team, which absolutely hates that we won't let them use a before and after. Because today it still is the most effective way. If you want to sell something in fitness, show somebody who's out of shape, get in shape in 60 days, and you'll sell more than anything else. But we refuse to do that because it's just the wrong message. And we've stuck to our guns. And over the last decade, it's been a nice, consistent growth. And I think we're proving that you can do this the right way, build a successful, long-lasting business in fitness while maintaining integrity. And so that's where we're at now.